Hey everybody, it's Casey, hanging out with you on the Wall to Wall Country Show, a staple here at Penn's Peak Radio, where we play nothing but country for a couple of hours, getting you to revisit some of the decades of great classic country music, as well as introducing you to some new music that's out there, new artists that are out there, people making a stand on some country music and just giving it a new flair, or some crossover artists, whatever the case may be. Today we have a gentleman who's kind of been around for a little while now. He's got some experience and played with a bunch of very well-known artists, out on his own solo career. And I'm so excited to have him on the show today to talk to him. Please make welcome Mr. Shawn Lacy to the show. Hey, Shawn.
Hi, how are you? Thanks for having me.
I'm good. I have to say, kind of taking a quick overview of your background, you've already been kind of around the block in a very short period of time, and I want to get to some of that in just a minute. But first, for people who don't know who you are or don't recognize you coming from, the duo band that you played with or working with some of those great artists, can you give us a little background about Shawn Lacy?
Sure. Well, I'm originally from northern Pennsylvania.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, from the Lock Haven area. I was born and raised in Lock Haven.
Well, you're talking to Penn's Peak Radio that is just outside of Thorpe. Isn't that awesome?
I know. It's awesome. I was so excited to be able to call in and talk to y'all. So, I miss Pennsylvania, but I've been in Nashville for the last 9 years.
Oh, okay. That's
so
awesome.
I made the move from Lock Haven to Pittsburgh, and then put a band together in Pittsburgh, and then played there for a year or so, and then we shot down to Nashville. Haven't really looked back since.
Okay, but what were some of the influences in Lock Haven, PA here, a hometown boy, that pointed you into the direction of music, and then, kind of filtered it down to, pretty much country at this point?
Growing up, I wasn't necessarily exposed to traditional country growing up. My mom and dad listened to a lot of classic rock, so there was the Eagles and Bachman Turner Overdrive and Creedence and Skynyrd and bands like that were being played around the house quite a bit. So that's what I grew up listening to, and I put a band together with some friends, and we were 14 years old and played in my basement. And I played drums for a while in that band, and that's the kind of stuff we played. So we were always kind of the odd kids out in middle school and high school, because we were playing, stuff that was around way before we were even born.
Yeah.
But, the other bands were playing some more current stuff, and we were always the band. But I think that kind of helped us, because we were getting gigs. We were getting paying gigs out in little bars and clubs, and so for a while, our parents had to drive us to the bars and drop us off so we could play gigs. So it's good. It's good to have supportive parents, in that when you have a bunch of 14-year-olds who can't drive,
right?
You need to get to a gig.
Not only get to it, but then come pick you up after it's all over at 2:00 in the morning or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were good sports about it.
That's nice. That's awesome. So you kept doing that. Now the band, was it those members that did the transition over to Pittsburgh then?
No, those guys. Once we played together all through high school and a little bit into college, and then guys started going different ways and going away to school, and then I ended up moving to Pittsburgh, and I put a different band together out in Pittsburgh. Mm-hmm. Some guys that I met out there just playing. I went out and I didn't really know anybody out there. Just kind of started going to some open mic nights and songwriter nights, and just getting plugged into the scene that way, and ended up meeting a really good friend of mine named Hobby Weiss, and him and I put a duo group together there, and that's when all 5 of us just decided to pick up and move to Nashville. I think all the stars kind of aligned. None of us had anything holding us to Pittsburgh, so we were all able to pick up and go.
Now, as the Shawn and Hobby band, you guys performed like that for a couple of years, but how did you get into the position where you were opening for people like Merle Haggard and Randy Rogers and Phil Vassar and that. How did you get that placement in front of some of those big names?
Well, I mean, the Merle Haggard thing is actually it's a funny story. That was the very first gig we played as a full band, opening up for Merle Haggard.
Wow.
In Pittsburgh area. So it was just kind of through networking with friends, and I had picked up a part-time job working at Froggy Radio, which is a country station in Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
And they kind of had their hand in plugging opening slots for some of the national acts that were coming through the area. So, I was able to slide a CD over to the people at the radio station and just kind of stay on them a little bit and bug them until they gave us some gigs.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, the squeaky wheel gets the attention, right?
It's what it's all about.
Nice.
Just tactfully reminding them that we want a gig.
Tactfully.
Hey, we would love to play this show. We would love to play it.
Awesome. Well, that put you in front of some great people, and then I would expect those relationships also were very, very instrumental once you moved your band down to Nashville and maybe opened up a few more doors for you, down there, all the way up to people like Kenny Rogers and the Zac Brown Band.
Yeah, I mean, the relationships we made in Pittsburgh and playing for some of those artists, once we hit Nashville, you end up running into them. So people like Phil Vassar and I are still good friends, and I go out with him still and play shows with him and write a little bit with him. And I mean, I was able to go, we recorded at Zac Brown's studio here in Nashville, and that was where I put out my first solo record.
Mm-hmm.
Without that band, because I currently have a different group of guys than the Shawn and Hobby band. So I was able to keep in contact with Zach, and he opened a studio here, and he let me go in there and cut the record.
Nice. And your first solo effort was called the 2 EPs?
Yeah, there's 2 EPs, 5 songs on each.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just 2 projects that kind of were happening at the same time. To make a long story short, the first EP that I was working on was kind of at the tail end of the Shawn and Hobby band. We started cutting one or two of the songs in the studio, and then the band just started going in other directions, and I didn't really want to let those songs go. I felt like those songs needed a life of their own, so I went back in and rebuilt the songs and re-recorded them. And at the same time that band was kind of finishing up recording, I was also working on a solo EP in Zac Brown's place, and that was the other 5 songs, and I ended up finishing them actually both around the same time. So I felt like they both needed to see the light of day, so just released 2 EPs.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's a cool story. Now, you've been on the scene now for a couple of years, performing as the Shawn, I guess it's just the Shawn Lacy and the Shawn Lacy Band.
Yeah.
Okay. And opening up for people and doing your own little touring here and there and stuff like that. Like you said, you still play with Phil and a couple of other people. Recently now, you've also worked on some more new music. Is this all on a new EP that's out there, a new album that's out there? Tell us a little bit about your latest venture on some of this new music.
Well, I've been just doing a lot of pre-production on a new record, and we're hoping to have everything tied up and together by the end of this year.
Okay.
We're hoping. So it's just kind of a little bit of a dance with the management company that I'm working with, and just there's a lot of things we have in the works, so we're just trying to get everything lined up. So the record is happening still, but it's looking more at the end of 2017 here.
Now, does it have a name yet?
It does not have a name yet. No.
Okay, so your fans.
We're trying to keep as much of the mystery about it as we can.
But you are putting out some of the music that you're going to have on this new album.
I've been playing some of the new music live at live events.
Okay.
With the band and some songwriter nights and as far as any pre-release of anything. I'm not sure we have a timetable on releasing any singles or anything before the record drops. But
okay.
that'll probably all develop here in the next couple months.
Okay. So if they want to hear some of this new music, the best advice, like, you or me or whatever can give is just come out to a live show and you can catch the potential of some of this music that might be on this record. Are you getting a good feedback of some of these new tunes that you're putting out there live?
We are. Yeah, we are. We're really excited. And I mean, we do some Facebook Live stuff and sometimes I'll do just some live streaming of me playing some new parts of songs, acoustic or on piano. So people can always check out the websites and kind of get a sneak peek of some of the songs. And as I'm working through them, I kind of show people the process as I'm going. But
that's awesome.
But I mean, my manager and I are just kind of figuring out where we're going to go with it. And hopefully we'll have a timeline soon.
Well, let's talk about some of that music that you've been putting out there. One of the songs that you're going to have out there and you've been doing, giving it a little birth and giving it a little breath of life here is a little something called Woman. Now, are all the songs on this new album things you wrote, you penned by yourself, co-wrote? How did that work? Yeah.
All the stuff that I have on the records, I've written. And there's a few songs that I've co-written with a couple good friends here in Nashville.
Right.
But Woman is Woman is on one of the EPs.
Oh, okay.
So that's out right now, so people can find that on iTunes or online, any of the online streaming services that people like to use. It's pretty much on just about everything.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about that song. Is that something you penned?
It is. It's something I wrote here in Nashville. Just about, it kind of encompasses a few different parts of my life and meeting my wife and kids and just it's a cool little snapshot from about a year ago of my life, a year and a half ago.
Okay. That's awesome. What I think I'd like to do, Shawn, if you have a few more minutes to hang in there, we have to take a little bit of a break. But what I'd like to do is come back with Women and play that song and just kind of let people give that a listen and give them a feel of kind of the artist that you are. And then we'll chat a little bit more about some more of the music that is going to be on this new EP when you get it out there. Do you have a few minutes to hang in there?
Sure do.
Great. Okay. Well, listen, we're going to take a little bit of a break, but we're going to be back with more Shawn Lacy with his song that you can get your hands on right now, a little something called Woman. We're going to talk to him about accessibility, on how you can track Shawn down and through social medias or his website, and a little bit more about some of that music that is going to be promised out, hopefully by the end of the year for you Shawn Lacy fans. So don't go anywhere. We've got to take a break, pay some bills. We'll be back in just a second. More with Shawn Lacy and Wall to Wall Country right after this, and be listening for that tune, Woman, in just a bit. And there you go, everybody. Back there in just a little bit, you heard that song Woman from Shawn Lacy. That is one of the tunes, though, you can get your hands on. It is out now on all the electronic medias, the iTunes, the Amazon, Spotify, and all that kind of stuff. But you'll be able to revisit that when Shawn gets this new unnamed currently album out there. What a great song, Shawn. And I think it's a nice, like you said, it's a little story. People maybe can connect to it with their own types of lives or process through, some of the things you were talking about there in the song. Nice little tune there, Shawn.
Well, thank you. Glad you like it.
Yeah. It's one of those things, the connectivity too. We talk about that a lot with a lot of my artists on how people can, see a song through an artist's eyes and, get a glimpse of what you're saying is a little snapshot of your life, but then they can also take some of those pieces and, put it to their life too and kind of get recognized with that. Are you finding people able to do that with some of your music, kind of get the connectivity with you?
Yeah, and I think that really is what you go for as an artist. I mean, it's great to use that as an outlet to get your feelings out, but to see other people being able to take the songs that you're writing and performing and kind of apply it to their own lives and get something out of that themselves is really the coolest part about it.
Yeah. And, I think that's the other thing where it kind of gives a song validation too. If it is touching, I mean, that's kind of like you're saying, that's the whole point is you want to be able to touch somebody in some way, shape or form. I mean, you got the songs out there that are just the silly, dancing with a solo cup songs that, may not, may not necessarily have any feeling or emotion, but they're just, they're just those kinds of songs. But then, you want to have certain songs that the connectivity, the feeling is there, the relationship between the music and the artist and the people who are hearing it, who might be just a little bit deeper. Those are the songs too that I think give validation to a song and to an artist as well. And that's got to make you guys feel pretty good when you're seeing that as a response.
Yeah. I mean, I think I always see myself hovering between the rock and Americana and country worlds. And I think one of the biggest things that separates some of the genres, country tends to tell the story a lot of times in black and white. And I think the more rock Americana writing gives a little more gray area in the lyrics. So I think it helps people kind of apply their own life experiences to the songs. And I think that's the happy place that we've found the music sitting. Mm-hmm. So people can really relate it to their own own experiences.
Now, for people to find you and find your music, I want to throw this out there. It's Shawn Lacy, and now that's the SHAWN version of Shawn. And Lacy's even enough, LACY. What's some of the best way that people can reach out to you? Are you on the social medias? Is it just through the website? Like if somebody's interested in your music or wants to give you feedback on something, what's some of the best ways that they can track you down, Shawn?
Yeah, they can, on the website, they can find me on there, and I have all my social media links off of there, as far as Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and, all the standard social media outlets. They can find me on there, and all the music, like I said a little bit ago, is on iTunes and Amazon and Spotify and all of those sources as well. So people can track me down, but I mean, the easiest way, if they want to just get a good idea for what I'm doing and what kind of music I'm playing and where to find it, they can just hit the website and all the info's right there. They can click away and check out some videos and everything too.
And that's also where they can figure out, if you're going to be doing a show somewhere, how to find you and come out and see these live shows.
Yeah. I'll have all my tour dates and show dates on there, and any news that's happening or has been happening, they can check out some info all off of the website.
Well, with your show dates, let me just throw this out there. If you ever do come back and grace Pennsylvania with your presence, being so close, the doors to Penn's Peak Radio are open to all my artists, and we'd love to have you swing by and do a little impromptu in our studios. We'd love to have you for that, too. So I just want
I would love to, definitely.
Throw that invitation out there, and you have my contact information. Hey, I'm going to be in town. It's like, hey, come on in. That'd be awesome.
Just swing on by.
Just swing on.
I'll bring my guitar.
Yeah, we'd love it. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, absolutely. And Lock Haven's not that far. Make Pennsylvania proud. Make a little.
There you go.
Find a little spot you can do some performing here in the state. I'm sure your hometown friends would love to see you as well again. Getting back to some of your music now, I wanted to talk about a couple more other tunes. How many songs are going to be on this new one? Have you decided?
We're hoping to have it right around 10.
Okay.
Give or take a song or two. But like I said, right now, we're just kind of in the pre-production phase and just getting into the studio to start locking some things down. So that can all adjust, and everything's kind of up in the air until we finish it all up.
Another song that you mentioned off air that you're thinking is going to be a part of this project is a little something called Flip Side, which, you think of that, it depends on, I guess, kind of how old you are, what Flip Side might mean. If you're used to albums and you're used to those little 45s, you talk about the flip side or the B side or whatever.
You mean those vinyl?
Yeah, those little vinyl things that Some artists are actually going back to. I'll have you know, I've had a lot of artists come. Hey, we're going to make this into vinyl. It's like, damn, I gotta go out and buy a record player.
A lot of people in Nashville have been doing it. Nashville has a couple of really, really famous, vinyl pressing facilities here. So a lot of artists are going to vinyl with it.
Yeah. So tell us about Flipside, and is it about that, or is it about something completely different? I'm sure there's multiple meanings for that term.
Flipside, really, it just kind of has to do with there was a day that just everything seemed like it was going wrong, no matter what you could do, and you just kind of wanted to check out and catch everyone later.
Okay.
And just kind of try again tomorrow. I know everybody's had those days.
Sure.
So, and it was just one of those things for me. It was just a day that everything seemed to just not going the way I wanted it, not going as planned. And I just wanted to say, I'll catch you all on the flip side. See you tomorrow. Yeah. Kind of one of those deals. And I just thought that was a funny line and like a cool idea, because I felt like everybody's had that day or those days before. So it came together pretty quick. The song, it's one of those songs that people say when they write themselves. It kind of really did. I had the idea and sat down, and everything just kind of poured out. And in like 20 minutes, we had the song.
Nice.
So
a little peace out song. Little peacing out here today.
Kind of like don't worry, everybody. It's almost like a don't worry, things will be okay, and we'll catch everybody on the flip side.
Nice. Well, we're going to feature that song in just a minute. I don't want to hold you too much longer. I know you're a busy guy and stuff. What's some of the things that, I know you talked about this album being released at the end of the year, but if we do a projection and kind of think about 2018, what's Shawn Lacy going to be up to in the upcoming year? What can your fans be looking for? More videos, more schedules, got something new and exciting up your sleeve that you can wink nudges about? I mean, what's happening with Shawn Lacy in 2018?
Well, definitely the new record, hopefully. We're looking to push a radio tour off of a single, which is a new record as well. And we're coming off of, I was featured in Rolling Stone magazine as one of the top 10 country artists to look out for. So we've been springboarding off of that push and roll with that through the rest of the year here, and hopefully start 2018 with some good momentum and some new material and a radio tour, and hopefully that'll bring us to as many cities and towns as we can get to.
Pennsylvania.
Yeah, of course, Pennsylvania. I love coming to Pennsylvania. I think I was just back there playing. It was with Phil. It was with Phil Vassar. We were at a casino outside of Philly,
okay.
Fresh area. We played out there not too long ago. So I love coming to Pennsylvania. I just wish I could get there more often.
Yeah, Phil was just here. He must have been on the same kind of thing, because he was just here a little while ago as well. He performs at our venue, and
okay.
I know he was here. We had a little chat with him. He's been in our studios. He's one of the artists that took advantage of coming over, because we're about 10 feet from backstage. So he's spent some time in our studio. He's such a down-to-earth guy, such an awesome guy. He's one of the more down-to-earth artists I think I've ever met.
Yeah, he's been at it forever, and he's always stayed one of the coolest artists that I've met and been able to work with. So,
yep.
So
hangs out.
It's always great to play and share the stage with him. So,
yeah.
Hopefully we keep.
Well, maybe he'll come back around and you'll be able to open for him here. That would be awesome.
It'd be great. Yeah.
Yeah. Before I cut you loose, we're going to play Flipside here in just a minute, but I also like to end the show. This whole thing gets recorded and played back on Sunday. So if you want to notify your friends and family and all that, you'll get notification through Facebook and Twitter that this whole show will be re-airing this Sunday. Kicks off at 8 a.m. Eastern time with the interview in the second hour. At the end of my show, to remind everybody about that, I like to throw one more tune out from the artist. And something we talked about was called Shout It Out. Another one of those kind of terms. It can mean a lot of things. Is this a song of yours, Shawn? You want to tell us a little bit about it?
It is. It's another one that I wrote. And this song really, I think this one really hits. We closed the show out with this song quite a bit. And it's just, it's more of like a rock anthem style song, and it just talks a lot. It really hits home, especially with a lot of things that are going on in the world, and not to get too, political or anything with it, but it's just a song about just letting things go and just shouting out that you. I'm trying to think of the right words to describe it, but it's just really being independent and not letting things weigh you down, and kind of music building you up. And that's kind of, the song works its way through a build up as well. It starts out real low and slow and really builds up to this big kind of anthem-y ending to it. So it's a great show closer, and we get a great response from the crowd with it. So I figure we'll close this show with it too.
All right. Well, I think that's a fine plan. At the end of the show, you guys need to be listening for another tune coming not to his new album that's going to be released by the end of the year, a little something called Shout It Out. And just a quick reminder to listen in on Sunday as well if you missed it, and catch the whole interview all over again. Shawn, I can't thank you enough for taking time out of your busy day. I really, really hope that if you ever have the chance to come home, Pennsylvania grown boy here, make your appearance here at our venue, Penn's Peak, and stop into our studios here at Penn's Peak Radio. We'd love to see you. I wish you all the best with your new album and your tour and everything you have going on in 2018, but do keep us in mind. We'd appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me, and I can't wait to get back to Pennsylvania. I'll have to swing in and say hi.
That would be awesome. And we're going to play Flip Side right here. Shawn, if you want to go right ahead and introduce that song for your listening audience, and we'll catch you real soon, sir.
All right, thank you. Hey, this next song is called Flip Side. Hope you all enjoy.